Why am I overthinking this? Ah. For now, I have written, where is it? A list for 2025 of the actions I want to take in 2025 to become better. When I'm saying these are actions, it's not like a bucket list, it's because I really collected these with concept in mind that these have to be things I do and not things that is like an end product of something. But I do have a previous list in this notebook, which was just a very random page. I didn't even like date this or anything. I just started writing down things. The main point is that I wrote down this list and then I forgot about it. And then like months later, I would accidentally open the notebook here and I would be like, oh, actually this I've already done. Like this has already happened. And then I just cross it out. And I'm like, wow, remember like not that long ago, I used to be the person who was dreaming about this happening to her. And I'm already past that. And that made me feel so good. Like even if you write down things which are obvious or things that are very easy or things that you take for granted, if you write it down and then later on you go back to cross it out, it's just gonna make you feel so satisfied that you have achieved something. So this is really just about celebrating small wins, being more aware, and really give yourself credit where it's due. Don't wait for other people to give you credit because they're not necessarily going to say when you did a good job, because some people might be jealous of you. Some people might simply don't appreciate the things you appreciate. If they don't give you the validation, you really have to give it yourself. You are the only person who knows what is right and wrong and what is valuable to you. And that should be your only standard for any type of validation. You should be the only one validating yourself. But the list, where is it? I made like 11 points and originally I wanted to make 10, but I feel like I could make like 20. Okay, I don't know, I feel like I want to talk about these things because it's inspiring. These things make me really excited, and talking about this and kind of like sharing my goals with other people is a way of me holding myself accountable, because it's kind of been rather a fear or like a trigger of mine that I would not want to talk about the big things I plan or the big things I want to do in my life to people around me, because it has happened multiple occasions that I would come up with something and then I get really excited about it and then I tell it to people and then I change my mind and then I give up, and then people are like, yo, what's up with that thing you told me about? And then I'm like, well, I dropped that, and I don't want to do that anymore. And that makes me feel very scared to tell people about my goals, because I'm scared of feeling that way again, that if I change my mind or if I realize that this is not actually something I want to do, then people might feel disappointed in me that I do not follow up on what I promised or what I said I would do. I'm just gonna put this out there. I have to move out of my comfort zone, and I also have to hold myself accountable on being consistent and disciplined about the things I really want to do. And these are things I really want to do. These are not really things I just thought about today. These are things that I've been planning on doing or dreaming about doing for a very long time now. I genuinely feel like I'm settled in a place where I can make these things happen. For my 2025, I wrote the first to do is to land a modeling job, which, okay, hear me out. Like, I know I said these have to be like actions that I can take and it doesn't depend on external forces. This does. It's like, I kind of rephrased this. Originally, I wrote that I want to go for a model casting on my own. Again, have been scared to talk about this because I feel like when you're starting out doing something and you don't know yet how well it's gonna go, you might feel like a fool telling it to people, because then they look at you and they can judge however they think, that maybe they don't see it in you that you could do that, and then they're gonna be like, why would you even try doing that? You're never gonna make it. And I don't want to hear that kind of stuff. But I did go to an agency who they said they would like to work with me as a model. So I feel like I gained some confidence that I could actually do this because of this agency. And I know in some aspects I don't really fit into the standards for the modeling world, but in some ways I genuinely think I can do that well, and I will do my best to do it. So this is about, yeah, genuinely land a modeling job, which is something that will probably happen. Like, it's something that is like already in the process, but I just wrote it down. It's going to be a pretty big milestone when it happens, so it's definitely gonna feel good to cross it out from my list. The second one I wrote is to upload consistently on YouTube. Now this, I'm not gonna cross it out until the end of the year probably. It really is something I want to keep on for ever, or for at least a very long time. But I had to write something like this down to put it on paper that I really want to dedicate my time and energy to this, and I want to take it more seriously. But yeah, I don't want to be scared about doing this anymore. Like, literally my room looks like such a perfect setup for a YouTube video. Isn't that true? I've been dreaming about this since I was 13. Probably 12 even. I loved watching YouTubers, and honestly no one is stopping me from doing this, from making a video and uploading it to YouTube. So why am I not doing it, you know? Usually when you have goals like this, that is actually very much doable, but you feel like you're not worthy to do it for whatever reason. You tell yourself stuff like, oh, I don't have a good enough camera. Well, this camera is trash, but I love it because it's cute and it adds a vibe and it was cheap, and yeah, I don't care that the quality is not perfect, and I don't care that my editing skills are not perfect, and I don't care that I don't know. I feel like these things only sound valid while they are in our head. You say this out loud and another person will literally look at you like you're dumb. Like, that is the stupidest thing you've ever said. Because when you hear yourself saying that, you also realize that that is like just literally all in your head, and once you put it out there, it literally doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Nobody. I'm saying this to myself. Nobody cares other than you. Just decide to not to care. Like, just care about the things that actually matter. Don't care about the things that you think other people care about, and you think it matters because it matters to other people, because it actually doesn't matter to other people. It only matters to other people in your head, because you cannot know what other people think about. And usually they don't think about the things that you think they are thinking about. I'm done. Third thing on my list is to take Instagram seriously, which is also a very silly thing if I say it out like this. And I don't know, maybe there are people who sometimes see my posts who are like old friends or people I don't actively keep in touch with, but they know who I am, and just see a random post that I post on a Sunday morning, and they're like, who the heck does this girl think she is? But honestly, as I just say it out loud right now, like, this is something I've been thinking about every single time I post, basically. And now I feel like that is just the dumbest thing ever, as I said before. Like, that's just, why do I even think that? Because if somebody doesn't like that I post something on social media, then they should unfollow me? No! This completely got me out of the flow. I can't. Where was I? They should unfollow me. I guess. That's where I was. I mean, social media is a thing because it's a place for people to post, you know? Then why would I be scared to get judged for posting? Like, that is the whole reason it exists. I don't know, like, now that I genuinely like say these things out, I feel so silly. Like, why would I give energy to these thoughts? Why would you give energy to these thoughts? Why would anyone give energy to these thoughts? Next point. Meditate every day. I had a pretty long streak of doing this when I started meditating, basically. So it felt good, and I don't even know why I stopped. I kind of just fell out of the flow. I don't know. I lost focus. On and off, I would meditate, but usually it's dictated by my life and how I have time, which is exactly what should not happen. It should exactly be the other way around. I should meditate no matter what the circumstances are, period. It truly is very beneficial. Yes. I don't like how my glasses look. So the fifth thing on my list is actually very strongly tied together with meditation, which is yoga. Do more yoga. I just wrote do more yoga, period, because I don't want to set unrealistic goals. Like, I genuinely don't want to say that, oh, I'm gonna do yoga every single day, because although I do genuinely believe I can meditate every single day, I don't trust myself to genuinely do yoga every single day. But I think that's fine. I think it's okay if I just do yoga like every second day. That is already, if I make that into a habit, that is already such a big accomplishment to me. Knowing myself, they do help me a lot to feel more healthy in my body and more healthy in my mind. It makes me feel like I'm taking good care of myself. Okay, the next one, I wrote to get rid of Spotify, which is something very personal. It's weirdly specific. I have personal beef with Spotify, but in general, I'm just very not a big fan of subscription services. I actually never had my own Netflix. I only use other people's Netflix. It's like people pay for it because it's curated and you will surely find good stuff in it, and you can specifically search up for genres or like their categories, so you get recommended something without like having to dig very deep yourself. So it kind of like does the job for you, but that is also what like takes out a lot of personality, in my opinion, which is not necessarily bad. Like, it's useful and I see why people use it. I see why I have used it in the past. I just feel like for myself, the media I consume, just the movies I watch or the music I listen to, I want to have a deeper connection to a specific piece of art. This has to do mostly with the fact that I am a very big enjoyer of music, and I believe the music I listen to is a very big part of my personality. And I did fall for the, Spotify Wrapped, having 10,000 playlists, all extremely curated, with curated bio that is basically like inside jokes, like nobody gets it. It's an if you know game you play with basically yourself, because nobody's listening to your music. It's literally for you. Why are you playing a performance play with zero audience, and then like you can see what other people are listening to like in real time? Yeah, I see the appeal. I see how it's like connecting people and it's social media, and lockdown, I did enjoy that. It was funny. I feel like that time has passed. I don't know if it's only me who's over it. I think we have to leave Spotify in the past. That is a take I will die by. I also just do this for myself, really. My dad had this old MP3 player, which is not even that old. It has memories. And my dad gave this MP3 player to me. He put Toxic by Britney Spears on it, and that was my jam. I did not know English. I did not know the lyrics. It was Toxic by Britney Spears, for God's sake. And I was 10, but I was jamming to that like crazy. That is something I want to feel again. Like, I know recently with the whole Y2K trend, it has been a thing to use old digital stuff. And I think that's a really cool thing. Like, I think that's a trend that should not die. Vintage, recycling, thrifting, stuff like that. That is something I like that stuff. Okay, so to sum it up, I genuinely have so much music. I have 5,535 songs saved since 2016. It's been a very long time since I've been collecting these songs, and my camera is literally going to die. How can I up so much? Like, I have so much music that I just listen to once and I save it because I think I'm gonna like it, but it actually doesn't move me that deeply. It's just something that sounds good for a couple of listens, and then I put it on my playlist because it fits an aesthetic, but then I end up skipping it every single time. I really want to eliminate that. Like, I don't want to listen to music that is just meh. I always want to listen to music that is deeply emotional to me, that is something I have a genuine connection with, and I want to be present, and I want to be aware, and I want to appreciate the art as it is supposed to be appreciated. So I will find that MP3 player because the new year is approaching and I do not want to give more money to Spotify. The next one, sell your clothes. I have so much clothes, and I'm not just saying that, like, I literally have so, and it's not even funny. For the past like couple of years, I've been very conscious about if I get more, I need to get rid of more. So I have to make space for them. I don't have too many clothes compared to other people, but I want to have less. It's the same with the music stuff, to have individual pieces in your wardrobe that is not just something that is just there for like one occasion, but it's something that you can actually match with a bunch of stuff, and it's something that you genuinely feel happy in. Like, every time I realize that I can do better and better. So thrifting is cool, and it gets you good stuff, and it saves you a lot of money, and it's unique, and it's good for the planet. And aren't you convinced yet? Once I like decide to get rid of something, if it's in good condition or it's expensive, I'm gonna sell it. If it's something that is in bad condition, I'm gonna donate it, or like put it in, like, you know, those like bins where you're like, take it there, they get recycled, theoretically, I hope. Then the last one is like things that I like, or I feel like I could make something out of, but it's not like, I'm not happy with the shape of it in the moment. So then I keep those clothes and then I try to repurpose them, or I resaw them, or I mix them with something else and then I make it into a whole new piece. I recommend, if you don't want to get rid of something, try to repurpose it into another piece that you could wear. I'm not sure how to feel about this. It says get a part-time job besides modeling. I don't really have much comment on that. That is just something, I just need to get a job. I just need money. I'm just a girl who lives under capitalism, which is rather sad, but what can I do other than get a job? Next one is to go on a hike. I mean, not a hike, but like, okay, this says to go on a hike. That hike is supposed to be the hike that I planned on my birthday, and be more in nature, which is just for the rest of the year, really. Being in nature is fun and it's cool, although it's cold and dark and wet. It's not that pleasant because it gets dark early to be outside. But I do know that it makes me feel better if I'm in nature more. I tend to stay indoors a lot. I just enjoy activities which don't really require me to leave the house. Like, I just like to paint and draw, and like what I'm doing right now, I could do this outdoors. Actually, I could really do this outdoors. I want to do this outdoors. I could write and I could read and I could take pictures, you know, and I could like hike. Like, hiking is also like, I want to move my body more, and I'm just not a gym person, and I feel like hiking is something that would genuinely make me feel motivated. You're distracted by the pretty scenery, and you have to get down from the mountain to get home. So like you really do not have a choice to just stop mid-workout and leave. Like you have to keep going, which is a pretty good motivation in my opinion. Yeah, for now I will just do my best to do myself a favor and get my ass out of the house. The last thing I wrote down is to get into university. I have gone to university once already. Yeah, business. No, not for me. Thank you. That was enough. But I do genuinely like the atmosphere of university, and I enjoy studying. I know I look exactly like a person who would say that right now, but I genuinely enjoy studying if it's a topic I am interested in. Going to university again for the second time for something I'm genuinely interested in has been a project for like last year as well, but it kind of didn't work out, and I don't mind because now I'm here and it worked out good. I am doing some other stuff side quests. I have some side quests besides getting into university. I feel like it's okay that there are other things I do. I feel positive about it, but if I end up not doing it, I have to have like something really, really seriously good going on for me to like validate not going to uni. I'm not gonna not go to uni again because of like just failing and just not being able to show up to myself and get it done. I'm not gonna accept that. That is just not going to happen this year. I definitely set myself up for a challenge, which is what keeps this exciting. I don't specifically feel like anything is gonna be different like after New Year's Eve and it's gonna be like, oh my god, new year, new me, because not really, but kind of yes. Like in a way I do feel motivated for these things, and it just gives it a little bit more pressure for me to focus on these things. If I say that, okay, this is a goal I want to reach within a year. So I hope you watching this have found some kind of motivation in this yapping session, and I hope some people can relate to some of the things I plan on improving myself and my life in the upcoming year. And I hope nobody gets discouraged if stuff doesn't go how they planned for 2025. I feel like many things didn't go as I planned for 2024, but then a bunch of other things happened which I never planned at all, and it still worked out really good at the end, and I'm happy with how I wrap up this year, and I'm just excited for the next one. And I do plan to document it. That's probably the biggest thing. I just want to keep documenting because I think there's a lot of growth to be done in the near future on my path. That's cool.